guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because I'm really busy launching my upcoming fantasy novel, Curse of the Shadow King. It's currently available for pre-order. I will provide you guys links in the description. Please check it out. I really appreciate any pre-orders, and afterwards it means a lot to me for you guys to review the book as well. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So now that I'm back, I want to cover a topic that I've given a lot of thought to, and that is strong female characters. I know this may sound a little bit cliche, but I've always really enjoyed female characters and looked up to them in various media platforms. I mean, between Charmed, Buffy, Sailor Moon, Xena, there are a lot of fantasy female heroines that I love. Alright, so on another note, I also kind of want to talk about how I've seen kind of a little bit of a running theme within the literary community where people talk about male writers creating, describing, or just writing female characters. So I want you guys' take on this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But first, I want to start off with a character that I think is awesome and a good representation of character development and a strong female character, but one who is three-dimensional, including flaws, etc. Alright, so here we go. I am going to use one of my favorite heroines as an example for this video, Buffy Summers. And I wrote down some notes just because I wanted to cover all my bases, so while I read my notes, I am going to give you guys a little bit of a slideshow. Let me know what you think of Buffy in the comments below. Have you seen the movie, the TV series, or have you read any of the comics? Buffy is a strong female character with a lot of layers and agency throughout the 7-season run of the fantasy and horror-based series. Despite the fact if you've seen the original 1992 movie or not, you get a glimpse of who Buffy was before she moved to Sunnydale and became the Slayer. I think that this is a perfect example of character development done the right way because Buffy goes from a shallow and vapid mean girl / cheerleader to someone who really gives a shit without losing what makes her personality entertaining. And I think this is important within good storytelling because you want good development, but you don't want to completely change who the character is. I don't think that's very realistic. Just because someone gets their priorities straight, that doesn't mean that's going to change every aspect of their personality. Buffy struggles through many hardships in the series, which range from forbidden love with a vampire named Angel, and then having to sacrifice him for the greater good after he turns evil. Buffy also faces losing friends, the death of her mother, which forces her to grow up and take care of her sister Dawn. I thought this was an important storyline because throughout so much of the series to this point, she was able to fight everything that was supernatural and mystical, and her mother's illness and death was something that she couldn't fight. Ultimately, I think Buffy is a well-written heroine. She's physically powerful, yet isn't untouchable throughout the series. She dies twice. She's also mentally strong, however has flaws. She struggles to find a balance between being a normal girl / woman and the Slayer. She at one point faces her dark side when introduced to the rogue Slayer named Faith and is arrested because she breaks into a shop after testing her boundaries, or rather limits, after Faith convinces her that Slayer should be above the law. See, want, and take. This doesn't necessarily pan out for Buffy, but it's an interesting glimpse at who Buffy could be when you see the way that Faith behaves. You also get a bit of an idea of the impact that her friends, Watcher, and Mother really make in her life. Edit that out. So, okay. In my opinion, these are traits that make for a very strong female character. And when I say strength, I think within fantastical worlds of fantasy and sci-fi, people tend to get a little carried away within, well, the sci-fi and the fantasy and the fantastical parts of all of it. But I think within that, for a character to resonate, they have to be believable, and they also have to be multi-layered or dimensional, and maybe even a bit grounded, because that's what's going to make people really connect to that character. And as far as strong female characters go, I think that strength has to go beyond just being physically or magically powerful. Personally, when I'm watching something, I want to understand who the character is, why they are the way they are, and also I like to enjoy a character arc or the evolution of where the character is going. How does the character's past impact their current actions and situation, or their views on any given world that you're watching? And where are those stances and the future events or the inciting incident, where is that going to take your female protagonist? The next topic I want to touch down on is a bit of a sensitive one for some people, And I put a lot of thought into what I want to say, and that is what's considered to be sexist within comic books and animation. We could get into movies, but I'll just kind of stick to these two because I have a little bit of a story to tell that is related to the art style of Curse of the Shadow King, which is Japanese animation. The series is, as you can see if you look at my website and my other social media, it's Japanese anime inspired, which I have loved since I was probably like 11 or 12. So it's definitely influenced a lot of my creativity. Anyway, so my female protagonist, Hanako Shimizu, is one of my favorite characters to write, but her art is, well, it's beautiful and it's a bit sexy, and I decided that I was going to share one of my commissions in a writing group I'm in, and two women came at me calling me sexist, saying I had no respect for women, and they just sort of judged the character based on how she looked, which I think is kind of crappy because when I designed this character, I put a lot of thought into the character. There are many layers to Hanako, from her, how she relates to the different people in her family, the dynamics of how she interacts with her oldest brother, Aito, and Tenji, to her relationship with her grandmother. I put a lot of thought into this character. She is about more than just what she looks like. Yes, she is an anime geek and she loves fantasy and sci-fi, but she's also a teenager and she's a bit emotional. Part of her story is coming to terms with the loss of her parents. There are so many dimensions to this character that go beyond just what she's wearing or her bust size. And I feel when you judge based on just what a woman looks like, in my opinion, that's kind of sexist, because I've noticed within American culture, at least I'll say, when women see another sexy woman, they tend to judge them more harshly. That's just a fact. I once saw this episode of What Would You Do, where there was a scenario where there were two women at a restaurant. One was dressed moderately and the other was dressed sexy, and they were with a boyfriend. And when the boyfriend abused the moderately dressed woman, people came to her defense instantly. But the sexy woman, nobody did. And I feel that this is an issue where even women look at other sexy women and are very overly critical. Anyway, so to my point is I don't think, in my mind at least, that just because a character is sexy does not make it sexist. Although I think that for me, in this regard, when you think, or at least when I think of sexist, I think that a character is truly sexist when there's no substance to it, when the only qualities it has is looking sexy or being boiled down, reduced down to what people think that a woman should be, whatever stereotypical bullshit people view as this is what a woman is: cooking, cleaning, only taking care of kids, shopping. And I'm not saying that those are bad traits to have within characters that are female, but when you simply boil a woman down to only one characteristic or two characteristics that are very stereotypical and very lazily written, sure, that's sexist. But I don't think just simply having a sexy character makes the character sexist. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of the current debate, or I should say the long-standing debate within the comic book community and animation community of what makes a character sexist? To be honest, I will admit that I think that women are way more sexualized than men, of course. But when you look at comics like X-Men and DC, if you look at men's bodies, they're pretty buff and ripped as well. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to people kind of wanting to present the best package possible on a product that is for sale. And they want women to have culturally what is considered the most desirable physique. And granted, within comic books, that is starting to change, but I think it goes for men and for women, where women are presented with larger bust sizes, smaller waists, and rounded hips. And men are shredded. They have six-packs on top of six-packs and muscles on top of muscles, all packed within a skin-tight suit. So yeah, it's about, within the industry, it's about ideology. What is the perfect man and what is the perfect woman? And again, these ideologies, they do seem to be evolving, but going back to my original point, I can't, stress this enough. that just because a character is sexy does not make it sexist. And, you know, to the women who attacked me in those writing groups, maybe if you would have taken just maybe a second to read my book and, you know, maybe intellectually and emotionally explore who the character was, you may have had a different opinion of Hanako rather than just judging one picture of what she looks like. Something else I've seen within the literary community that usually has a little bit of a sense of humor to it is when people talk about male writers writing female characters. And again, usually this is approached with a little bit of a sense of humor, but some people take it pretty serious, and I don't know why or how. Maybe I just haven't read books like this, but people think if you are a male writer and you write female characters, you are just going to reduce them down to their physical presence, meaning that when you write a character, you're just only going to describe their body, their breasts, and anything sexual regarding them moving and, well, boobs, whatever. Personally, I've never done this in my writing. I don't feel the need to sexualize or objectify women. When I wrote the female characters for my book, I put a lot of thought and planning into their stories, their personalities, their emotions, and their agency. I think that women in books should be represented as equally as men. I don't think that a female character or a male character should be boiled down to just one characteristic, or, you know, wasting tons of time with exposition describing how their breasts or their butts move. That's ridiculous. It's not my writing style. But I'm sure there are books out there which are that ridiculous. Personally, again, I haven't read any, but I think this is a bit of a funny topic. So, I don't know, have you guys read any books where there was ridiculous writing about describing or overly describing a woman's body, what she's wearing? Comment below and let me know. Alright guys, so just to reiterate, I understand that this is a sensitive topic for some people, and I really want to hear what you think in the comments below, but let's keep this discussion simple, okay? I really appreciate that. So, with that in mind, I am going to start releasing videos every Tuesday. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and hit that bell for notifications. Again, I really want to hear what you guys think, so comment below. What do you guys think of the video, and what do you think of my experience and sexism in the comic and animation industry in general? Have you had any experiences as far as debating anyone or enjoying characters that people think are sexist? Or do you have any opinions on which characters you personally think are sexist? Again, let me know in the comments below. So, to close this video, I want to thank everyone so far that has pre-ordered my Arthurian-themed fantasy novel, Curse of the Shadow King. I just am elated. I'm so excited for the January 1st release. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. I put so much time and so much of my heart into this book. You know, just the characters, I really hope they resonate and their emotions, you know, resonate with the readers. I'm definitely excited and a little nervous about reviews, but, you know, I've worked really hard on this, so I'm more excited than I'm nervous. If you haven't already pre-ordered, you can do so on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, and Google Books. I will link all of those in the description below. I'm also excited to announce that I am going to be hosting giveaways. Well, currently I am for posters, but I also have other products lined up, some art cards, bookmarks, t-shirts. I'm also planning to give away a signed copy of the print and hardcover copies too when those are released. If you'd like to enter my current poster giveaway and want future updates on art, writing, and anything else, definitely follow me on Instagram. I will post my link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.